What is up, guys? Julian's Way here, and today I want to talk about no other than Steve Laureus. This guy here, I think, has crazy amount of genetics. Now, from what I've seen, how the classic division, classic physique, Olympia division is going, or basically overall, it's kind of like hard to tell in a way what direction it's going. Not entirely, though. I think, like most people would say, they're going for the taller guys with that tapered waist. Wide lats, kind of like something that would look close as possible to maybe Arnold. Alright, he was reigning in those days, back in the real old school days with the fuller trunks. So yeah, definitely that seems to be the case. So it's not more of that Franco Colombo, it's more of Arnold. So yeah, I think Steve definitely, last year there was a little bit of controversial comments about him should have won the Arnold Classic 2019 next to George Peterson, who definitely took that. I mean, George does look amazing, so I'm kind of a little confused as to really sometimes where these judges are going, because they didn't put George in front of Brian because of his muscularity. He went over the 212. He's doing great. He plays third there. He plays third in classic physique. He seems to be going third all about, and that's just the way it is. But when it comes to aesthetic, here again, this guy here is one of the closest guy I think that can match Chris Bumstead. I know Brian Jones looks damn good, but I do not think Brian Jones has genetics like Steve. The small waist, the biceps. We're going to get into that and do a comparison with Chris and Steve, some of their best shots and their aesthetic and their comparison. They both have a pretty tapered waist, aesthetics, the lats, and the height, man. I mean, it's crazy. He was called at one point in time, maybe like a few years ago. He was called the Black Chris Bumstead. But It's really hard to tell. I'm not saying that he can. I think he can give Chris a run for his money. I'm not saying he can just come out of the blue and beat Chris. That's going to take a while. There was this other tall guy to Henry Pierre that I think he had placed fourth in 2017. I think it was, or 18. Anyway, so Steve continued, and last year, the 2020, he took third place next to Terrence, alright, and then he got beat by George. He took second place in 2019. Now, he lately posted up a pic on Instagram where he looks damn big, and people are telling him he needs to get his conditioning in line. He seems pretty damn shredded at the Arnold Classic in 2019 there, and I think he did improve his conditioning there compared to the Pittsburgh Pro. That was another controversial place, and people thought that he should have not won that show because of his conditioning. So maybe the guys went with the aesthetics. Here again, one time aesthetics rule over conditioning or posing, and it goes back and forth. So you've got to think about the major factors about being complete, the posing and the conditioning. Everything has to be down pack, and sometimes the judges go with the aesthetics if nobody is really dialed in 100% in conditioning. I guess sometimes that's how the game and the ball goes. So really and truly though, he needs to fill out his frame a little bit more, I guess, because of his height, and especially to clash with guys like Brian Jones, who looks damn massive as well, and Chris Bumstead, those tall guys. So he seems to be putting on some decent amount of size, man. That pic that he posted there on his Instagram, definitely I think he can give Chris a run for his money, and he can come into the top 5, and maybe the other year, who knows, maybe he can be right next there to Chris. So I'm hoping that he brings his best package ever, and yeah, I hope these guys can really clash, man. Chris needs a tall guy there. I think Brian Jones also can improve and give Chris a battle. Now, I'm not counting Brian out. Brian is hungry as F, so yeah, let's see what happens though. Let me do this comparison. Let me see what I'm saying makes sense or not. Alright, so right here, this is what I'm talking about. This kind of a classic pose. Now, you could see how these guys look great, but the tapered waist there is, I do not know. At one point in time, I know Steve had one of the smallest waists in classic physique. I do not know whose waist is smaller, if it's Chris's or what can I say, Steve. But they look damn good, even though the biceps on Steve is more fuller, it's more rounder. it's just more developed, you know, there's more peak there. And Chris has done a lot to bring up his arms, and it definitely, that's genetics, man. Side chest, definitely, Chris will take him up. Chris has a great side chest, you know, he is starting to really stand out like Arnold when it comes to that side chest. So definitely, like I said, the front of the biceps, I would give that to like Steve. Steve has more peak, but not taking away anything from Chris. Chris has improved, and the tapered waist, the vacuuming, both of these guys have great vacuuming, but I still think, you know, because of Chris's lats, Chris has improved his back and his lats. He's been able to open up his lats even more and gain some more mass and size in it. So definitely, this is one of Chris' best pose right now too. And shots like these, man, are amazing. You know, they both look great here. Definitely, I think he can give Chris a run for his money. They both look aesthetic in this pose, and you know, there are certain shots where people look better than some people, and from practicing a pose, you know, you get better at that. And here again, you know, look what I'm talking about. Look at the waistline on Steve. Now, this is not on stage, but you know, he looks damn good, man. He looks good. He can use some more weight on his back. He can definitely bring up his body parts. That's the thing about Steve, though. He's not consistent, man. He drops out. He does a show. He doesn't compete back at Olympia. He didn't compete this year. He dropped out. So, you know, his placing and that sort of stuff, too, it kind of shows bad, I think, in presentation in terms of the judges. You haven't been to the Olympia in a couple of years. Even if you look damn good, you know, they're going to give a guy, probably even like Terrence, even if you does look better than Terrence. Look at his hamstrings. Look at his back definition. They both look good. I definitely think that this would be the guy to put next to Chris in the future, providing that he opens up his back. Now, Steve does have a great back. It's just that he might not be able to open it up, kind of like what happened with Brian. He talked about he wasn't able to open up his lats and his back in his interview. And I think that's one of the things that messes up a lot of people that has great backs, you know, that carry a good down back density there, but they're not able to open it up and get that flare. So anyways, you know, there are some other great poses that Steve hit, some real classic pose because he has the arm, and you know, he just, I think he's a good poser as well. Definitely he can improve in all areas, but he does have the genetics, he does have the taper waist. Not taking away anything from Chris, man. Chris has improved tremendously, especially in certain shots like this one here. Definitely he will be very, very hard to beat once he keeps improving and bringing in that conditioning. Alright, that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap the video up. If you made it this far, please give the video a thumbs up. Also remember to please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell button for notifications. Until my next video, peace, take care, and stay safe.